I'm grateful to be known as somebody who is a real person, like a person that brings an energy that is always for the people, about the people. And with my feet on the ground, maybe some people feel like I'm somewhere over here. I really don't feel that. I really don't.
Alicia Keys has finally let the truth slip. Not in interviews, but in her silence, her choices, and the deals she couldn't say no to. The woman who once sang about a girl on fire, she's been walking through one this whole time, quietly playing the game while people like Clive Davis and Jay-Z move the chess pieces behind her. This is the real story behind Alicia Keys, Clive Davis, and Jay-Z, and what they did to shape her career and her silence. See, Alicia Keys didn't just show up on the scene as a fully formed, soulful prodigy. What we saw was the result of a carefully built image by one of the most powerful men in music, Clive Davis. Clive discovered Alicia when she was just 19. Now, she was already working with her manager, Jeff Robinson, and they were trying to get her debut album off the ground. But when Clive stepped in, he didn't just sign her, he took control. She was signed to Arista, but once Clive was pushed out of that label, he made sure Alicia moved with him to his new venture, J Records. That move told you everything. He wasn't just betting on her talent, he was crafting her as his next Whitney, his next global star. But Alicia had already recorded most of her debut album, songs in A minor, before she even signed to J Records. And yet, Clive made her repackage it to better fit what he thought would sell. And what did Clive think would sell? A polished, clean, safe image. She was styled to be approachable and classic. The piano became her signature, reinforcing the idea that she was serious about music, not just chasing fame. Her voice was soulful, her lyrics were not messy, everything about her presentation screamed controlled. Clive marketed her as a young woman with old-school talent, humble, non-threatening, and refined. She was sold to the public as a rare talent who let the music speak. That was the brand, and it worked. The debut album earned her 5 Grammys. But behind all that shine was Clive Davis's blueprint. Decades of industry experience shaping Alicia into what the market would accept. Critics noticed it too. Many praised her voice, her skill, and her sound, but they also pointed out the obvious formula. This wasn't a breakout artist in the raw sense, this was a launch, backed by serious money and serious control. Alicia was pushed to the front not just because she was talented, but because Clive wanted her to be seen. And in that system, speaking out or stepping off script, that was never really an option. But just as Clive was solidifying her image, Jay-Z entered the room, and that's when things got even more complicated.
New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do. Now you're in New York.
When Empire State of Mind was in the works, Alicia wasn't even the first choice. Jay-Z wanted Mary J. Obliged to sing the hook. She had the grit, the New York edge, and the voice. But for whatever reason, Mary didn't make the final cut, so Alicia was brought in. But here's what most people don't know. Her first recording of the hook was rejected. It wasn't hitting the way Jay-Z wanted it to. He had to push her to come back and re-record it. And when she finally did, that version became the hit we all know. But why Alicia? Some say Jay-Z saw something in picking her. She brought balance. His verses were streetwise and slick. Alicia's part added class, soul, and crossover appeal, but behind the scenes, some whispers claimed it was more about power moves. Adding her to the track elevated the song to Grammy-level respectability. It wasn't just a hip-hop anthem, it became a New York. That track changed everything. It gave Alicia a whole new type of visibility. Suddenly, she wasn't just Clive Davis's soulful prodigy, she was part of Jay-Z's universe too, and that brought new partnerships, new branding, and a new level of silence, because now she had even more powerful people around her, people who expected loyalty and discretion. And while Alicia was staying quiet in the spotlight, Jaguar Wright was doing the complete opposite, and she had a lot to say.
Like, people are forgetting when she moved into Swizz and them's house to work on the music with him, he was still married to his wife, living in that same house. And then she moved in while she was cool with the wife. and plotting to steal her husband to cover up the fact that she's a dyke and she had just got caught beating that girlfriend of hers up down there in Aruba somewhere or something like that. Yeah, 'cause she used to run down to the islands, take a little down there. And then when she ain't go right, she smack him up. She a whole fucking dude. She's a real dyke. Just like Swizz is a real diddy do-wah-bah.
Jaguar Wright, a fellow neo-soul artist who came up around the same time as Alicia, made headlines years later with explosive allegations. She didn't hold back, especially when it came to how she felt Alicia Keys got to where she was. One of Jaguar's biggest accusations, Alicia stole Swizz Beatz from his then-wife, Mashonda. According to Jaguar, Alicia knew Swizz was married and still pursued a relationship with him, but this wasn't just about romance. Jaguar painted it as a power play, saying Alicia used her industry protection, mainly from Clive Davis, to do whatever she wanted without consequences. That protection, she claimed, shielded Alicia from public accountability while hurting people behind the scenes. Jaguar also dug deeper, suggesting that Alicia wasn't being her authentic self. She hinted that Alicia was hiding parts of her identity, especially when it came to her gender. Jaguar didn't provide proof, but she insisted that the Alicia fans saw on TV was a shaped version, one that Clive Davis had molded to fit the industry's comfort zone. According to Jaguar, Alicia was being used, but she also played along because it benefited her career. Then came the personal hit. Jaguar claimed that Clive Davis actually used Alicia to target her. She didn't go into specifics, but the implication was clear. Jaguar felt pushed out of the industry, while Alicia, with Clive's full backing, rose to the top. In her eyes, Alicia wasn't just protected, she was weaponized. Jaguar's comments didn't go unnoticed. They sparked heated conversations about industry favoritism, the silencing of outspoken women, and how certain artists are elevated while others are left behind. But through all that noise, Alicia did what she's always done, stayed silent. But that silence spoke volumes. Now let's break down the real scandal, the one the public couldn't ignore, the affair with Swizz Beatz. Here's the timeline. Swizz Beatz was married to singer Mashonda when rumors started flying that he and Alicia were more than just collaborators. The issue? His divorce wasn't finalized. And yet, Alicia and Swizz were spotted together, working together, and eventually living together, all while the paperwork was still pending. That wasn't just a rumor. Mashonda herself confirmed it. She wrote an open letter that went viral, calling out Alicia by name. She accused Alicia of knowingly involving herself with a married man and breaking apart a family. It was full of the kind of personal details that fans couldn't ignore. Alicia's response? Nothing. No interviews, no statements, no public apology. She simply didn't respond, and that silence, again, became part of her strategy. She let the headlines pass, let the gossip cycle spin out, and stayed focused on her music, her brand, and her clean public image. Years later, things looked very different. Alicia, Swizz, and Mashonda appeared to have made peace. They co-parented, attended events together, and even talked about blending their families. But even with all that unity in the present, fans never really forgot how it started. That open letter from Mashonda stayed in people's minds. And still, Alicia's image didn't collapse. She didn't lose endorsements, her albums kept selling, she kept showing up to awards shows, red carpets, and charity events like nothing ever happened. Because by then, the formula was too strong, and her silence was part of the brand. Still, Alicia's image remained intact, until her next move made headlines for a whole new reason.
You're looking gorgeous. I mean, part of that, it's internal, but it's external too. You've just kind of started a movement here. I don't know if you meant to, but you are.
No,
not wearing makeup.
Exactly.
And I mean, first of all, you don't wear it so well. Did I say that right? You look absolutely gorgeous. How does it feel though, inside?
Really empowering, actually, really freeing. And you know, I think the thing is, it kind of came from because we put so many limitations on ourselves. I think we put limitations on each other. Society puts limitations on us, and in a lot of ways, I'm sick of it. I'm over it, to be honest. And that, as well, is a lot about what the music is about. It's about being our unique own selves, because we each have something that no one else has, and it'd be so amazing just embrace each other.
In 2016, Alicia Keys made a bold statement: no more makeup. She showed up to red carpets, talk shows, and even award shows barefaced, saying she was done with unrealistic beauty standards and the pressure to be perfect all the time. It wasn't just a personal decision, it became a movement. Headlines called her brave, fans called her inspiring. It felt like Alicia was stepping into a new chapter. But it didn't take long before the backlash started. People began noticing that her no makeup look wasn't always exactly bare. Sometimes it was tinted moisturizer, a little highlight, maybe mascara. It wasn't dramatic glam, but it also wasn't fully makeup free. And that's when critics started calling it a brand, a calculated pivot, another clean, controlled image move packaged as empowerment. Was it about freedom, or was it marketing? To her fans, Alicia was making a point about self-acceptance. But to others, it looked like she was selling a version of rebellion that was still safe, still polished, still perfectly curated, just like the rest of her career had been. It raised the bigger question that had always been around her journey. Was Alicia ever really in control? Because here's the thing, from day 1, 2 of the most powerful men in the music industry had a hand in shaping her path. Clive Davis was behind Alicia's rise from the very beginning. He signed her at just 19 and personally oversaw the direction of her debut. He controlled her image, her sound, even her wardrobe, all with the goal of making her feel relatable, elegant, but never threatening. And it worked. Alicia wasn't marketed like other R&B girls at the time. No over-the-top sex appeal, no public feuds, no public drama. Just piano, voice, and poise. Then came Jay-Z. With Empire State of Mind, he didn't just give Alicia a career-defining hook, he gave her cultural permanence. That song is more than a hit, it's an anthem. And it forever tied Alicia to Jay's empire, musically and publicly. But while Jay and Clive stayed vocal and in the spotlight, Alicia stayed quiet. She didn't push back. She didn't challenge the system. She played by the rules, and she was rewarded for it. So the question is, was she just another artist shaped by powerful men? Or was she complicit, choosing silence, choosing branding over disruption, choosing protection over truth? Because through every controversy, from the affair scandal to Jaguar Wright's accusations, from questions about her image to critiques of her authenticity, Alicia never once broke character. She stayed the course. And maybe that was the point all along. And now, at 44, Alicia's story is finally coming full circle. Even if she's never spoken a word, what do y'all make up of this situation? Leave your thoughts in the comments and subscribe this channel for more updates.